This makes me continuously angry every time I get jump scared.
Hello, everyone.
Come on, I'm almost done with the third day.
Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Ooh, hot takes.
Anyways, today we're starting early because, honest to God, there is a cinder block on the fucking gas, and there's no foot on the brakes. We're just gonna get right into it. This is probably gonna be a much longer session than we normally do. So here we go. I'm gonna share Umineko to the Discord, and we're gonna just fucking start pumping it.
Okay.
Also, let me turn off the silver case music.
Go.
Please do.
Alright, let's see.
Thanks to our reoccurring sponsors at K Jewelers and also Vera Wang Wedding Dresses.
Hell yeah.
Okay, let me just make sure.
I think I know where this
Oh.
is going.
Yes, thank you, Noir. You are the silver case.
Read the saga song of Beetlesaurus.
Maybe the silver case was the friends we made along the way.
Oh god, no, don't play that one.
We still can't play that one? Does it spoil all of it?
It spoils everything up to episode 8.
God. Jesus Christ, never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, no, none of that nonsense. Anyways. Let's just go ahead and get to that wedding!
Yes.
I'm late to the wedding where I'm marrying myself!
Wait, we didn't get it. We did.
Alrighty then, we good? Is this too loud? Is anybody... Let me know if there's any sort of audio troubles. Actually, yes, I gotta turn the music down for myself a little bit. This is a bit too loud. Alrighty then.
I will run reconnaissance on audio adjustments.
Thank you, Joshua. Now then, a deep sound reverberated throughout the cathedral. The sound of the several dozen Chester Sisters Imperial Guards, members of the Honored Guard, who stood in a line across the cathedral and stamped their heels in unison. It brought about total silence even before the demons running the ceremony spoke. Total silence.
Let us have silence! Ladies and gentlemen...
Welcome to the wedding of Lord Battler, Third Lord and Golden Sorcerer, and Lady Erica, the Witch of Truth.
Zephyr and Furfur had appeared in the central of the cathedral center. Having them invited to host a wedding was a great honor. Though they had asked for silence, the attendants who packed the cathedral welcomed the two demons with an enormous applause. Noir. Oh, he's eating chicken right now.
AC.
It's Zephyr and Furfur. Then what about Beato?
She may already have snuck onto the grounds.
They searched for Beato in the crowd of several hundred people, but they couldn't find her anywhere.
I wonder if Beato managed to find a way to save Battler-kun.
If she managed to gain Zephyr and Furfur's power, then I'm sure she has. There exists no miracle that cannot be gained after receiving their strength.
And if she didn't?
Then that goat biting its handkerchief over there is probably her.
Then let us welcome the bride and groom.
Please give them a grand welcome and celebrate them as they start on their new life.
Come out, bride and groom.
Walk the path of shackles called marriage, which will bind you until the grave.
The big doors in the back of the cathedral slowly opened. And then the Territory Lord and his beautiful bride came into view. Arm in arm, the pair slowly began to walk down the path to the grave, lined with red carpet. The Chester Honored Guard stood at attention along either side of the path, raised their adorned bayonets with mechanical precision, and made sure that no evil could block the path the pair walked down. Chester Sisters that weren't part of the Honored Guard were stationed all over the cathedral, hiding behind pillars and the like, keeping an eye out for any intruders. Noir.
Double O, Cullen 45 and 410. Any irregularities?
Ceiling snipers, I'll clear you. 410 and 45 are on top of a massive chandelier hanging from the cathedral ceiling. Several other sniper pairs could be seen stationed on top of the other chandeliers. This seemingly festive cathedral was actually being heavily guarded in places that the attendants wouldn't notice.
Currently, we are simultaneously targeting 36 attendants suspected of being Lady Beatrice, as well as 131 positions from which the attack might be launched. Surveillance in progress.
Don't let your guard down. Lady Beatrice will almost certainly stage an attack on this wedding.
Gonna be so cool. Bringing me to the bride, yeah?
410 is the groom, not the bride.
But he's playing the bride parts, yeah? The Chester sniper teams on the chandeliers use super high efficiency observers to track the movements of the several hundred attendants. If any one of those made any suspicious movements, the Chester sisters had been given permission to fire immediately. Then the one on that chandelier is Chester 127. That overkilling monster sniper could pulverize a human target from 2 kilometers away. The one on the chandelier across from that is Chester 20. Her firing rate is 6,000 shots per minute. However, she's using a portable magazine this time, so 2 seconds is all it'll take for her to use up her ammo. Lazy bum can barely do her job for 2 seconds, yeah? Slowly, and making a show of it, the two walked down the red carpeted path. Battler's eyes were blank. If you look closely, you could probably tell that Erica was dragging him by the arm she held. In other words, they weren't walking together. This is a ceremony for Erica to show up to everyone that this man belonged to her. Behind the bride and groom walked the seven sisters of Purgatory, who held long ceremonial arms in the shape of the one-winged eagle.
That moron Battler! What's he lazing about for? This is why people call him incompetent.
I can understand why Beatrice must pain better than anyone else.
It's all because that stupid battler caused a logic error. Stupid.
Beatrice will not fall to sloth and let this wedding go on.
Of course. Beatrice is greedy. She won't let someone else take away her favorite toy. She'll definitely show up.
What the hell is a slobber noise? How do I make that? I hear the reception's gonna have tons of delicious food.
I want to wear a wedding dress now.
Berncastle and the Delta were in the nobles' seating on the balcony. They were sipping some bizarre carbonated cocktails and they looked down upon the show.
What a splendid wedding dress. I love stuff like this.
This is just the opposite. This is just the opening performance.
That's pretty cruel.
Gotta turn comic music. There we go.
Which event do you think will be the headliner? Don't tell me you think Beato will come. As you know as well, Battler's closed room is perfect. How could Beato win? Right?
You must have heard too. There's a chance that the window seal on the room next door has been torn. It seems that Delanor has managed to seal that path off for now, but she just denied the concept instead of sealing the actual window. I'll fly it out. It'll fly out the window again. This one-winged eagle thing.
Wanna bet?
On whether Beato comes.
I bet she comes with certainty.
I bet she comes miraculously.
Haha, this isn't gonna work.
The Witch of Certainty and the Witch of Miracles were both sure that Beato would come. However, they were very interested in exactly how she would break the closed room and take Battler back.
been watching from behind the scenes, so you probably know. You know what the trick is.
More or less. But Erica's done a hell of a job, so now even I'm stumped.
Liar.
Huh?
I'm sure you found one already. There does exist a trick that can save Battler, right?
There does. But it's tough.
And if that move is used, part of Beato's heart will be exposed. Isn't that right?
Oh, so you already know.
Hey, wanna change our bet?
To what?
To whether Beato or Erica wins.
Sure, if you're willing to bet on Erica.
I'll do it.
Oh? You are betting on Erica? And why do you think you can win?
If this trick is a part of Beato's heart, then Battler the Game Master will hesitate at exposing it. And so they cannot win. It will probably be a draw. I'm sure they'll sidestep the issue somehow and run away.
Battler had sworn to let Beato rest in peace. Burn. You're being too naive.
The bet was made. Based on the assumption of that certain miracle that Beato would come. Virgilia, who was standing in the front row, tried to call out as soon as Battler walked by. She tried to tell him that the window seal in the next room over hadn't been checked, hoping that this would give him a hint. However, she had been marked perfectly. The instant she tried to lean forward, two Chester sisters right behind her grabbed her arms. That powerful force told her that she wouldn't be able to move even a step forward. Trapped, she was forced to stand there and watch as Battler walked past.
Battler-kun.
Even now, he is fighting in that closed room all by himself. However, he cannot get out by his own power alone. Unless someone comes to save him, he cannot get out.
Unless that child comes to save him, Battler-kun will be trapped.
If there is a key to that closed room, I am certain Milady will find it. Milady, I'm sure you have gone through many trials in your life. But please, this is one trial you must overcome. I am certain that you can do it. I, Lonave, do not doubt that in the slightest.
The bride and groom's procession slowly advanced on the path to the grave and reached the altar. Though walking slowly was ceremonious and proper etiquette, it was also tiring. Erica glanced over at Battler. Of course, his eyes were blank. His heart was still inside that closed room. Once more, the sound of the Chester honor guard stamping their heels rang out loudly. Silence returned to the cathedral once again. Now, the wedding ceremony would finally begin.
People live for the sake of love. Therefore, today you have fulfilled the purpose of your lives.
Oh, how great is the power to live! The power of love! I pray that the brightness of this day bless these two for all time.
Come now, you who love one another.
Make the oath of love!
In the place of the husband who cannot speak,
let the wife make the oath on behalf of the pair.
Battler swears to Erica, and Erica swears to Battler, to support each other, both in sickness and in health. I didn't catch that, Battler-san. If you have some objection, please say it a bit more clearly, in a loud voice. if you have anything further to say, please get yourself out of that logic error closed room first. Don't worry. I'll support you until that day comes.
You have heard the pair's oath of love.
Oh, let this oath be eternal.
The thunderous applause celebrated their marriage of subordination. After the oath, they would symbolize the bond. It was the exchange of the rings. The Territory Lord's ring with the one-winged eagle engraved on it sat on Battler's finger. Would become Erica's. By this, she would become the ruler of this game board. And in exchange, Battler's finger would be given a diamond ring that Erica had prepared. At a glance, it just looked like a ring adorned by a large diamond. However, this cursed ring would force Battler into eternal subservience and make him as another's property.
Yes, let the pair exchange rings.
Since the husband's fingers cannot move, let his wife support him.
Erica respectfully took Battler's right hand and slowly pulled off the Territory Lord's ring that had been on his ring finger. That was the ring Beato had entrusted him with. Erica stole it away.
This is the ring that woman left behind, right? How does it feel to have that stolen away by a woman like me? Huh? I can't hear you. Please say it one more time.
Go to hell.
Oh, that. Well, then there's no need to worry, Battler-san.
Erica pressed her lips up against Battler's earlobe as if biting it, and told him where they were.
We're already there.
Then slowly, she took Beato's ring, which she had stolen from Battler, and slipped it onto her own left hand.
And now the bride. You may give the groom your ring.
That's one hell of a ring. A shackle that'll hold him in place for all time.
Yeah, it's custom made.
Even Battler's blank eyes could see the diamond ring Erica held. It was like Erica herself. On the outside, it shone beautifully, and possessed an absolute hardness that would bend to no one's will. And on the inside, to symbolize never letting go of the prey it had lashed onto, it had 8 sharp thorns, pointing inward. If they had been growing out of the outer side, it would look like the collar of a guard dog from hell. However, whoever would have putting those on the inside? By twisting the diamond, those thorns could slide in and out. In other words, if you twisted it after thrusting the finger inside, the inward-facing thorns would bite down, never releasing until the end of time. Then even his soul would be trapped, and his body, mind, and soul would be forced to serve Erica for all eternity. Are you kidding me? Who the hell would a ring like that? He couldn't even finish speaking that simple phrase. And furthermore, those awkward words were the only way he could resist. He raised Battler's left hand and stroked his ring finger as if tasting it. Erica pressed the ring of subordination against the tip of his finger. If a ring is made to fit too tightly, it can be painful and hard to take off. However, this ring was never intended to be removed for life anyway, so its inner band had been mercilessly narrowed. Even with the thorns, forcing a small ring like this on would hurt.
This ring will seal up your body, heart, and soul for all eternity, and you'll become an eternal living doll. I won't even let you die. You'll be endlessly defiled and humiliated by me, and every time I forget the taste of victory, I'll use your body to remind me, over and over again. You've got the guts to bite off your own tongue. Now's the time. Once this goes on your finger, you won't even be able to do that.
Bella didn't have the strength to bite his own tongue. Even if he had, he didn't want to give up before finding a way to escape the closed room. So he couldn't kill himself. However, if he accepted this ring, he would never be able to even think about escaping from that room, much less commit suicide. Stop. It.
No way. Look, I'm sticking your finger in.
It hurts. It wasn't just the pain of having his finger forced through the tight ring. The curse of the ring fiercely tormented Battler's body from the inside. That pain would always torment Battler. But fortunately, the power of the ring even stole away the heart that could understand that pain. Erica kept screwing on that too small demon's ring on. It hurts. It's impossible. There's no way it'll fit.
Don't worry. It will fit. No problem.
With an obscene laugh, Erica let a silver thread drip from her mouth and soak the finger and the ring.
Please relax. We'll stick it in all once. Please don't resist uselessly. It'll hurt less if you don't resist, okay? You see? Oh, it's sliding right in.
No! Oh! Slowly, Battler's finger went deeper through the ring. He was pushed through the iron ring of pain and humiliation, which would never be removed again.
Come on, look, okay? It's in all the way to the base, see?
It hurts. It hurts. Take it off. The demon's ring tightened around the finger, so much that it seemed that the finger would snap off along with the bone. Could Battler's hazy expression of anguish really describe how unbearable the filthy pain was?
Okay. Now that it's on all the way, let's add the final touch, shall we? For this, you will be mine. Forever.
Erica touched the ring's diamond knob. If she twisted it, the thorns would bite in and never let go again. No! Stop it!
Sure. Just say forgive me, Erica-sama, and I'll stop.
Really?
Please forgive me, Erica-sama. I swear to spend the rest of my life as your dog, with a collar around my neck. So at least spare me that ring. If you can say that, I won't make you wear the ring. I can't really hear you.
I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you.
For making you suffer like this?
No. I'll never forgive you for defiling Beato's ring. The Battler's eyes had supposedly been forced into a muddled condition. They appeared strong for just an instant. However, it really was only for an instant. Battler had used the last of his fleeting resistance just to say those words. In his dim consciousness, he'd even bitten his own tongue to stay alert, so that he could say those words of resistance until the very end.
Of course. Seems you're the kind of dog that can be tamed. But it's better this way.
Erica smiled. Then she turned the diamond. In that instant, Battler let out a voiceless scream and threw his head back. His howl had no voice and could be heard by no one. However, it still rang out through the cathedral. Damn. A dreary breeze blew through the golden rose garden. Shannon and Ken had already finished walking 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons conducting the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. Each had one of the dueling pistols given by the demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death, no matter where on the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They had already entrusted all their thoughts to them, as well as their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way that they could show their trust. Shannon and Cannon stood quietly with their backs turned. They had already set aside the feelings they'd built up during all those days they'd known each other. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them, except pulling that trigger. The only one who still couldn't muster any determination or resolve towards this duel was Beata. The closer that moment came, the less she understood. The love between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Cannon, or vice versa. Why, when both sides could still find happiness, were they being forced to kill each other?
I still don't understand. I just can't understand.
Little sister, you're not permitted to do anything but watch.
Zapar-san! Buffer-san! Why? Why this duel? This is no trial of love. You really are demons! You just want to enjoy watching one pair of lovers fall apart, don't you?
Silence.
You'll get in the way of the lovers.
You're the ones getting in their way! One will fall. The one who loves that person will grieve. If only you two weren't around, no one would be sad.
That is not
True.
If we hadn't set up this duel,
Then both pairs would have fallen apart. This duel is necessary.
I haven't been able to accept that since the beginning. You say their love can't be successful without a miracle of magic? What does love need other than two people who love each other? This duel is meaningless! So stop it, you two! Shannon and Cannon both! Why must you fight each other to the death when you were once close as true siblings? I just can't understand.
Everyone should have been able to hear Beato's yell. However, no one's expression changed.
that's right. I'm impressed that you noticed.
This is love's truth.
What is...
Normally, love needs nothing more than two people who love each other.
Therefore, when there aren't two people, we must use a duel to make that number become two.
I could understand if it were a duel between two people fighting over one woman. If it were a duel to cut three people in love down to two. But here we have two pairs of people! The world formed by each pair is complete, isn't it? There's nothing compelling them to fight.
The minimum number the minimum number of people that can create a world is 2.
A world can only be born. Love can only be fulfilled when 2 people gather.
That's why this duel is necessary.
So that they can get up to that number of people.
Are you saying that furniture is subhuman, so they don't count as a single person?
Exactly. Furniture is subhuman. That's why furniture and human cannot add up to 2 people.
That's insane! Status has nothing to do with it if both of them love each other.
No, it does.
It's fine.
Sorry. Do you really think that the status of a pair of lovers doesn't matter?
Is a man who has a wife allowed to love someone else? Is a woman who has a husband allowed to love someone else?
Are you allowed to fall in love with your parents? Are you allowed to fall in love with your children? There are many situations where status makes love unallowable.
Then just what is furniture? Why mustn't furniture fall in love?
Because their soul
is less than a single person. Shannon, Cannon, and of course the piece that you are.
all of your furniture. Subhuman beings who possess less than a single person's soul.
To be qualified to love a human, you need only one thing. The possession of a single person's soul. That's why a pair in love can create a world.
For example, do you think a man with a wife has the right to love another woman?
Of course not. If he loved 2 women, neither of them would get a full person's worth of love. A man such as that would be unworthy of love.
See? There are plenty of statuses and humans who have no right to love a person. As long as both people feel love, nothing else matters. That's just the hypocrisy of naive love.
We cannot forgive humans who falsely pretend that they have the right to love. We cannot forgive the love of subhuman beings, those who don't make up the minimum number of people required to create a world.
That is the purpose
of our trial.
It is to let these sinful souls
regain a complete soul and become capable of true love.
Zipar-sama, Furfur-sama.
Our hearts are ready
Please give the signal
to start the duel.
The pair bidding farewell quietly asked for the signal to be given. Zepar nodded silently, then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them. Furfur spoke in a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the 2 duelists.
Watch.
Watch the duel to see which of the lovers will fall apart?
No, this isn't a duel to see who falls apart. This is a duel to make true love succeed.
I don't understand what you 2 are saying.
No, you must understand. This marks the birth of a human who can truly love another.
I don't understand!
No matter which wins, please support them. Right now, their days as furniture will end.
The signal is simple. I will count to 3. When I reach 3, the duel will commence.
Understood.
Same here.
If both miss, the duel will be temporarily suspended. You'll be given bullets again and start over from the beginning with your backs to each other.
I guess it'll repeat until it's all settled.
Separ. Have you seen this sort of duel many times in the past?
Of course. I've seen many of them.
Usually, how many times do they need to face off before it's over?
In almost all cases, it's decided in the first round.
They must all be really good shots.
That's not it. If one side misses, the other can corner them at their leisure and shoot. If the first bullet misses, then you've lost your chance at victory.
However, if you take too long, you'll lose before you can even pull the trigger.
If you're going to lose anyway, you'd at least want to have pulled the trigger first.
Your resolve is good, you two. Then, let's go. One,
2, 3.
3.
In the Golden Rose Garden, when the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire rang out once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing, or the sound of both going off at the same time. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with gun raised and smoke trailing by the barrel, was Cannon, and lying on the earth was Shannon.
Shannon.
No. Shannon fell before the gun fired.
Jessica's distressed expression was enough to explain what had happened. Slowly, Shannon stood up. There was no bullet wound anywhere on her body. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bet. If Cannon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Cannon shot as soon as he turned around, she'd be able to dodge it. Cannon had also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with a firearm. He was fully aware that, if he assumed Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first, he would lose before even pulling the trigger. So, he had decided to shoot right away. And he had predicted that when he shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he intended to shoot right away, he would be more mentally prepared, so he was confident that he'd be able to shoot accurately. If Cannon had cautiously turned around, and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, then Cannon wouldn't even have been able to pull the trigger. So, no impatience on Cannon's part was to blame here. The two had simply given it their all, left their fate to the heavens, and reached this result.
I didn't imagine that my quick-tempered Nason wouldn't shoot at all.
I'm surprised too. To think that the old prudent Cannon would shoot as soon as he turned.
As Shannon quickly pointed the barrel at him, she slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit with even more certain accuracy. And Cannon had already lost any means of fighting back. He only tried to dodge Shannon's bullet and place his bet on the second round. If they both thought this, then what happened next would turn an assumption on his head.
This isn't over yet!
Cannon dashed forward like a tornado, bent over so low that he was almost crawling over his shadow. This duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around. And if Shannon calmly shot through Cannon, it would end. The odds that Shannon would miss, or that he could get close enough to her before she fired, Cannon would bet all of the chips he had on them. Shannon could draw Cannon in until the last second, then shoot him from a closer distance. If she pulled the trigger just before he reached her, then even if she missed, they would just start again from the beginning. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Cannon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She led her shot, calculating the distance he had already moved at the time it would take to pull the trigger. The goddess of fortune smiles impartially.
No!
Surviving past the final moments Shannon could have shot, Cannon barreled into her chest. He then swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. That strike sent Shannon's gun flying into the sky. At the same time, Cannon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. The two guns danced a rondo through the sky, reached their peak, and began to fall. By that time, neither knew whose gun was which. The two's guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. However, there was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands into the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The pair looked up at the brilliant sky and entrusted everything to the goddess of fortune. Then they each grabbed one of the guns out of the air. After dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Even that had been like a dance. Then they each pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. When they both pressed the triggers, one would die, and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know the result until that moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding the guns to know? The muzzle of Cannon's gun, which had already been fired, must have been warm. And the muzzle of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which. And yet, both expressions were solemn. The faces of those who would believe in their fate unswervingly to the moment the triggers were pulled.
Don't be sad. We'll meet again soon in the Golden Land.
We should have done this much sooner.
If only we had, our reunion could have been avoided entirely.
It's alright. Considering what day this is, even this duel is just a farce.
You're right. If we're just going to revive in the Golden Land anyway, it really is just a farce. Then I'll see you later.
Yeah, you too.
So long.
Cannon gun?
Hey, what's going on? Hang in there.
Suddenly, Kenan fell to the floor as if he'd had an attack of anemia. If it had happened without any warning beforehand. So everyone rushed up to him in alarm. When they saw what they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open.
Huh? How?
What happened? What's going on?
Trying to get a look at the wound, go to wipe Kenan's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth, without any trace of a wound. And yet blood was pouring out, almost though it was seeping through his skin.
What are you doing? Stop the bleeding already.
But even though there's no wound, the blood won't stop coming.
Hang in there, Cannon-kun. Cannon-kun. Yoshio-kun.
Kenan's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they had lost the light of the living. Just like a puppet whose strings had been cut, he had passed away. 4 times in.
Yoshio-kun. Yoshio-kun.
So long, Cannon-kun. And thank you.
Jessica dashed up to Cannon's corpse, held it, pressed her forehead against his, and as the still hot blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed.
Shannon.
George-sama. We've won. Now, I finally have the right to love you. Finally.
Shannon leaned against George's chest. The strings holding her up had been cut. George held her in silence.
Yoshio-kun. Yoshio-kun.
There was nothing in the golden rose garden but the wind that carried golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs.
Is your trial for us finished now?
It is. Congratulations. You two are the ones who remained.
We'll give you our blessing. But please don't forget, you're now responsible for nurturing your love.
Please, take good care of the seed of love that this miracle has created.
Of course. I swear to it. I swear to her and you too.
And now, let Shannon have the miracle of magic.
Now your soul will become human. You'll become a single person.
Gather in complete souls.
Its souls. And become one. And know love.
When Zepar and Furfur faced the heavens and yelled, the miracle of love gathered the souls around Shannon. They came from the losers of the trial, from Cannon who had been defeated, and from Beato who had dropped out. Slowly the bodies of the two began to break down into flecks of gold dust.
What is...
What's going on here? No one ever said that the losers would disappear.
As she yelled, Beato the Elder supported the body of her fading little sister. However, the two demons were smiling quietly.
Ganon has disappeared because he died. Beato was born to love Battler and is disappearing because she lost the qualification to do that.
It is quite fair. If she'd survived, the other two would have vanished.
Hang in there, little sister. Hang in there. Weren't you gonna solve Battler's closed room and save him? What are you doing getting finished off in a place like this? Do you call yourself a part of our complete form?
Why was I born? For the purpose of loving Battler's son. Why do I love Battler's son? The truth is, I don't know why I started to love him.
What? Why are you saying this now?
After all, when I was born, I was told to love Battler's son and be loved by him. That was my purpose. So, I don't really know why I love him.
People don't need a reason to love each other. Don't disappear. If you disappear, then who'll save Battler? Little sister, Beato! Beatrice!
Why is it that I love Battler's son?
Mother?
Well, I'm actually not a big fan of the family-oriented type of girl. You see how crude I am, right? I just can't handle acting all politely in front of girls. Ladies first and all that stuff. So if I had to say what type I liked, well, I'd probably like a Jessica-ish type girl. If I'm crude, why shouldn't she be one? Why wouldn't she be too? Probably just be perfect to have a rough, relaxed relationship, where we could mess around without worrying about gender and be rude with no worries. So if I ever get a girlfriend, I hope it's someone I can joke around with all the time. Huh? What would she look like? Can't say I can much either way. Well, she'd happen to be a glamorous woman, blonde and bouncy with blue eyes like in Western films. That'd be awesome. I'd love to rub those boobs.
Beatrice, listen. I am giving you my love for Ushurmia Battler. Become the kind of woman Battler wants. Take the golden hair he likes. Take the blue eyes he likes. Take this personality that matches his. And then you must love him in my place. And then, if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please, take my feelings that went unfulfilled. My feelings that I couldn't hold back, and make my wish come true. From this day forward, you are no longer the Rock and Jima ghost that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you'll become the master of this island, and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So from this day forward, you will no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all my worries onto you, while I alone try to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch, Beatrice. And one day, you will destroy everything, revive everything. You will bring blessings to all lovers. When that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. From this day forward, you will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. The two of us will split apart a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed, my dear Beatrice. No one will be able to see your form. However, I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. With love, they will be able to see us.
Yoshia could.
Are we dreaming? Insane. What kind of joke is this? Well,
Dr. Nanjo! Call Dr. Nanjo here!
Gold. That is enough.
Genji, who had been calm and silent through the whole thing, finally spoke. And his were the most reasonable words spoken. If they called Nanjo here, then what? Not only was there no arm to take the pulse of, there wasn't even a forehead to feel the head of. Like leftover snow on a spring day, Kenan's form had been. By now, not even a trace remained. His form had sparkled with a spray of gold, vanishing completely.
Where did he go? Where's Yoshia-kun? Yoshia-kun! Yoshia-kun!
So long, my lady. No, Jessica.
Kenan-san.
By now, no one's eyes can see us. That means that we're no longer in their world. However, we are right here.
You're right. We are here.
For us, a body is nothing more than a mere cage made of flesh. There's no need to be sad.
But I do feel sad for her. For Jessica's son.
This is all my sin. This is why furniture isn't supposed to love.
What will you do now?
Though I have lost my form, though I can no longer talk to her, and even if Jessica ever talks to me, I can do nothing except nod behind her back. I will be by her side.
I think that's wonderful.
What will you do?
I want to save Battler's son from a closed room.
A closed room.
After looking a bit taken aback, Kenan laughed, gently. Beato, who hadn't expected to be laughed at, looked a little sour.
Well, why are you laughing? This is very important to me.
But it's a closed room. That's something for humans with bodies to worry about, right?
Huh?
We've already been released from our cage of flesh. How could a closed room hinder us?
Are you sure about that? I mean, there's a chain lock, and packing tape seals, and red truth.
I see. So, you aren't a being from the world of pieces, but a higher level world. That means your limitations are different from ours. Or so I hear. Well...
Cannon stretched. Looked as though he was about to head out somewhere.
Cannon-san.
Seeing as you're a fellow loser. Okay. I'll go for you. I'll go to the guest room in the mansion and let Battler-sama out. Set the chain behind me and hide in the closet in his place. Is that enough?
I'm glad for the sentiment. However, even if you wanted to leave the cousin room, because of Erika-san's seals...
Unlike the next room over, the cousin room containing Cannon was a guaranteed complete closed room, even counting the windows. Not only did he have no way to save Battler, he couldn't even escape himself.
In that case, use your magic to give me power.
My... magic?
Yeah. Use your magic on me.
Wait. I don't even know how.
Aren't you Beatrice, the Golden Witch?
I am a witch, but... I don't even know about closed room tricks, much less magic.
Okay, listen up, Beatrice. I'll only tell you this once. This is what a witch is.
What a witch is?
A witch is. Not the one who solves puzzles.
Not the one who solves puzzles.
Yeah, that's right. If you're a witch, why are you clutching at your head because of someone's puzzles? That's not a witch's job, right?
Then, what is a witch's job?
The Golden Witch I know would have used insane magic to create a puzzle that no one could understand, confusing everyone and sneering. Create a horrible riddle that no one can get, spin everyone around, and badmouth them. You aren't supposed to clutch at your head worrying about your opponent's puzzles. That's your opponent's job.
Worrying is my opponent's job.
Don't worry about how Shiramiya Battler got out of the closed room. A chain lock closed room? How trivial. You need to create a much more spectacular, ultimate closed room. And make it so that they're the ones worrying. I'll even lend a hand.
I'm not the one who worries.
That's for them to do. It's about time they learn the true terror of the Golden Witch Beatrice. The one who can create endless closed room tricks of most horrifying kind. Tricks that can make even the demons of hell prostrate themselves in shock.
A closed room, even more horrific than Battler-san's.
We've already gotten our hands on one, haven't we?
A horrific, closed room.
In the back of Beato's mind, images he remembers began to flit by, one after another. The mansion, the guest house, the rose garden. trick, mistake, lure, taunt, trap, laugh together. Do you know about this trick? It's something like this in a book before. Beatrice's eyes opened wider and wider. Countless lights circled around her, swallowing her up.
And one more thing.
Well, what?
That's no way for the witch of closed rooms to talk.
So after all, I should.
Go for I instead.
The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and the reception was held inside the cathedral. As the goat demons partied raucously, Delanor could be seen leaning against a pillar, trying to escape from the noise. Then Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her.
Some kind of report to her.
Is that true?
Allow me to speak. Aide Cornelia is currently heading toward the scene. I suggest that Lady Erica be contacted as well.
Understood. I will tell her. Gertrude, contact the head of ceremony security. Prepare for battle.
As you wish. I apologize for interrupting your chat. I'm in charge of security for the ceremony.
Huh? Is it me? Oh. Do you want something?
I told you you were going too far. Champagne Tower bowling always was a bad idea. Looks like it's time for a scalding.
Hey, Vern! Hey, what's going on? Did I do something wrong?
The reception desk has recently received an envelope from an unknown sender addressed to Lady Lambda Delta.
I always ignore anonymous calls and letters. Just throw it away.
But please look at this.
What's that? Did you tell anyone you received this?
No, only the two sisters at the reception desk and I know. They've already been ordered to keep silent.
The instant she saw that envelope, Lambda Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. Berncust had walked away and was apparently making fun of Erica. Bern and, of course, Erica were both drunk. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about all this. Sure, this envelope had no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. This seal is... Lambda Delta hid behind a pillar and ripped the envelope open, took out its contents and read them. Her eyes instantly started to glint, and she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick.
What's to be done? The sniper team's carrying red warheads. If you give your permission, I'll give the order to load them.
What are you talking about? Do you realize how important these guests are? If a stray bullet hits one of these attendants, all the new Chiesta sisters will be sent straight from the factory to the guillotine for the next 10 years.
Understood. We will intercept with regular warheads. Shall we post watches around the Seven Sisters of Purgatory?
Why would you need those? After all, the 7 stakes are Battler's, and now Erica's furniture. Why would we post watches around our allies? Just make sure the security is nice and tight.
Just now we received a recommendation from Assistant Inquisitor Gertrude suggesting that we make preparations for battle. Her reasons are unknown.
From Gertrude. Then follow that recommendation. A party's more fun once you liven things up.
Understood. 00 calling Chester 17, Chester 38, Chester 45, code R. Be on your guards. Transmitting level 2 alert. Joshy, go.
Copy.
AC, go.
Copy.
45, understood.
It'd have been so much cooler if you said copy too, yeah.
I just got nervous.
Ah, right. 45, come over here a second.
What is it? Hey, we're in the job. Stop, don't play with my ears.
Your ears? Better pull them down, yeah.
Oh.
What did you say? You're kidding, right? It's impossible!
Cornelia is headed there now. The odds of Beatrice attacking here are extremely high. I recommend suspending this reception and evacuating.
What's going on, Erica? Something go wrong with the entertainment?
No, my master. Please continue to enjoy the reception. Hey, somebody. Get Lady Burner Castle some more dried plum wine!
Erica didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Burncastle saw this, she knew that their final, late guest had finally arrived.
Lucinette. I hear there's been some movements in the guest house.
The guest house? Who cares about the game board right now?
Well, they're saying that Cannon has disappeared from the cousin's room.
What? Are you a moron? The cousin room is a perfect closed room with the door and all the windows perfectly sealed. It's impossible for him to escape. Oh.
No, I've been snooping around as well. There's no mistake. Can has disappeared from the cousin's room.
He's probably hiding somewhere in the cousin room. Or else he's managed to trick everyone since the beginning, and it was never in that room to begin with.
That's impossible. Let's be guaranteed that everyone is in the cousin room, except for the specific names Lady Erica read aloud back then. It's impossible for him to trick his way out of there.
How did he get past the Jungfrau sea barrier? No, first off, where on earth is Cannon? Find him at once!
At that moment, the cathedral suddenly went black. The surprised commotion of the guests filled the cathedral.
He's here.
00 calling all Chesters. Code R alert. Chester 17, can you repair the electrical systems?
That was me, right?
Yeah.
Go.
No. Negative! Communications with the management staff has been severed.
All Chesters, code red. Rock and roll.
Copy.
Copy.
Yeah.
Copy.
Understood. Copy.
The sniper teams and the chandeliers all released their safeties at once. The entire security team down in the hall loaded their ammunition.
Lady Erica, let us evacuate to the waiting room. It is dangerous here.
What's dangerous? I'm the territory lord of this world! Why should I have to run away in fear?
Gertrude, set up a VIP guard barrier. Call Cornelia back here at once.
Yeah, executing.
Barrier? You're wrapped in one of your pitiful, pathetic barriers while I'm wearing a wedding dress? How insulting!
The disturbance made even Battler groan as he sat in the next seat over like a doll. Ugh. Even with his soul sealed, Battler probably realized something strange was going on.
She's late. Right, Lambda?
Totally. She sure kept us waiting.
What was that just now? A love letter from someone?
A fan letter. From the Lambda Chan fan club.
Lambda out to play dumb and munch some popcorn. And the lights finally turned on. It was clear that during that blackout, Beatrice had snuck in somewhere nearby, possibly even inside the cathedral itself. The Whispering Demon attendants all realized it as well. Whose scheme was this, and what were they doing? Though it may have been imprudent, they were looking forward to this, and excited chatter filled the cathedral. Looks like she came.
Gap? They let you come back too?
Come on, putting me in jail is pointless.
True.
But Reach, Battler's closed room, the cousin's room, and even the final possibility, the next room over, have all been sealed. How are you planning to save Battler?
Let us suppose that Milady has found some trick X. If so, she would inevitably have to march in here and to thrust that in Lady Erica's face.
But against all of these Chester troops? I can't believe this many of them are hiding here. It's impossible. She'll be sewn to death.
Rabbit Ears dashed all about the hall. Incredible that she could remain hidden and unnoticed with so many people around. If she can just get close enough to challenge Erica, she should be able to get herself in an even fight.
I see that move. However, does Milady have the item with her? She always complains and dislikes it when I prepare them for her. My. Troublesome one to the end.
Amid the crowd, Runaway took something out and showed it. When Virgilia saw, she understood what that in his hand meant. True, with that, it should be possible to stop the attacks from the Chester troops. Well, if it doesn't work on Erica, we're through. The problem is getting her right in front of Erica, if only for a second. The Chesters will probably prevent this with all they have. Leah, you think you can gain her that time? Virgilia gave a small nod. However, the problem was the two Chester troops standing at her back. Since the time she tried to jump out in front of the procession, she had been marked constantly. It was possible with Virgilia's vast magical power to momentarily take out all of the Chester troops in the cathedral. That would only gain a short bit of time, but it would be enough to confront Erica. The Chester troops knew this, so they kept a close eye on Virgilia with tense faces. At that moment, the great cathedral door was blasted to bits. The fragments became bright gold butterflies, which danced across the room in a beautiful blizzard of gold leaf. That golden storm slowly faded away. Then, at the entrance to that red-carpeted path to the grave, a calm, majestic figure was.
Guards, shoot to kill.
Negative. Conducting identity comparison.
Eleanor ordered the guards to shoot the intruder right away, but Chester Double O didn't respond. Was it because she had been warned about shooting the guest, and was afraid of the consequences of possibly shooting a drunk guest, pulling some sort of prank? No. Double O was just coolly and calmly carrying out her duties.
Oh, what a surprise! And I thought you weren't going to make it.
The pair faced each other from either end of the long red carpet. However, in between them stood several dozen Chester honor guards.
It took you quite some time to come here, most honored guest. You had us all quite worried. But I'm glad you managed to make it to the reception at least.
Beato laughed. That chuckle made Battler's eyes quiver slightly. You...
Did I keep you waiting? Fudo, Erika? I'm here to celebrate!
She had an overpowering and evil presence about her, strong enough to make anyone shiver. Was there really any need to confirm her identity now? Who else could possess such an overwhelming presence?
Because... Bitch!
Let us meet again in hell is a favorite parting line of mine, but...
Identity confirmed. It is the great Lady Beatrice.
This time it really did happen. Fudo, Erika!
At that moment, the two Chester troops standing behind Virgilia slumped over and fell to the floor. Renove touched the bases of their big ears from behind. It's good that he had applied some sort of magic.
Someone find the doctor. These girls appear to be ill.
All Chesters, open fire! Beato, now!
Just an instant before the Chester troops could fire, Virgilia raised her arms to the heavens. Her magical power, which was more than enough to remind all present what her name had meant, at the height of her strength, became a spirit wave that exploded throughout the cathedral. Its shockwave made the stained glass windows shatter, and colorful glass shards poured down everywhere.
Spirit particle warfare defenses. Hurry on reboot.
However, all the Chester Honor guards, who didn't have spirit particle defenses, toppled over like dolls. The ceiling snipers were defended and able to avoid a crash, but it would take several minutes before the systems could be rebooted. That span of time should be enough to reach Erika. However, it wouldn't be possible to defeat Erika in just a few minutes. There was no way they'd be able to carry Battler away in that time. What else could they use this precious time for? Beto dashed down the red carpeted path. She ran down the path to the grave, which was lined by Chester troops lying there like corpses. She had called this place hell. In that case, running from hell to the grave was actually going backwards. Beata's figure dashing through the corpse-ridden path truly symbolized her resurrection.
Milady, take this!
Got it!
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this. As she dashed, she snatched something with white from Ronave's outstretched hands. There was no longer anyone blocking her path to Erika. However, at that instant, a golden thread came from in front of her and rapidly sewed through the red carpet toward her like a sewing machine.
Oh, we have a meddler.
Reloading complete. Requesting data near.
Firing, radar targeted. Take the link to 410.
410 was clever. She predicted that Virgilia would go for a spirit particle attack, and had folded her ears and 45s over beforehand. So they were the only ones who weren't taken out.
Firing.
Once again, the golden sewing thread chased after Beato, weaving like a sewing machine. It was as though an undulating golden snake was shooting after her.
Impudence! You mean to delay my precious showdown with Erica?
Beato jumped sideways away from the red carpet, then dashed across the long table covered with beautiful food. The gold snake chased her, throwing through the pure white tablecloth like a sewing machine, and scattering dishes left and right. The goat attendants ran about wildly, trying to escape. The cathedral was wrapped in pandemonium.
I can't believe some of those rabbits evaded the spirit particle attack.
This is bad. If they take up position, there's nothing we can do.
The pair of snipers attacking from the chandelier high above were much further away than Erica was, too far for Beato to reach. Furthermore, their position landed in the entire cathedral inside their range of fire.
Too bad, yeah, Beatrice-sama. The trials of lovers are harsh, yeah. 45, new magazine.
You mean this? Gap handed her the magazine. 45 always handed them over backwards, so 410 was a bit confused to have one handed to her the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let go!
No matter how distant the position they might take, it was no problem for the elusive Gap. Gap twisted their long ears up, then tickled them with her thumbs. The Chester's greatest weapon was also their greatest weakness. The two doubled over with laughter. I've got these two. How many seconds do we have left? The other Chesters will be reactivating. On the other chandeliers, even more powerful Chesters were slowly starting to move again. It would possibly be impossible to buy any more time.
Ah, Gump. Thanks, I'm in your debt.
Don't forget to thank these guys, too.
Beato, good luck. Hang in there.
You don't have much time.
Erica!
Beato through the crowd of scampering goats like Moses. Her goal was straight in front of her, the place where Erica and Battler were seated. Then a red barrier took form, blocking her path. It was the VIP guarding barrier that Gertrude had set up. She stepped forward and laid out the last line of defense to block Beato's path.
Let it be known that you will get no closer.
You think a wall like that can stop me?
How long until the Chesters reactivate?
Within 30 seconds.
As the oldest of the seven sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer stood in waiting behind the bride and groom. She wanted to save Beato. If he could just distract Gertrude for a moment, that wall would disappear. However, the seven sisters were furniture. They served the territory lord, so they couldn't move. They couldn't move to help Beato. Delamore glanced over at Lucifer. There was a coercive tint to her eyes.
You are not allowed to move except by orders of your master.
Yeah.
Who's our master?
It's Erica now, idiot.
Now, our master's Battlesman.
True, Eric only speaks on his behalf.
That's right, Onesama. Whose furniture are we?
It's just too delicious. Let's dig in.
The red absolute barrier flickered for just an instant. Beelzebub's stake had pierced Gertrude's shoulder, and her concentration had wavered, but it didn't break. Slowly and expressionlessly, Gertrude turned to look at Lucifer.
By whose orders? Know that Lady Erica has made no such order.
We do have orders. The altars of our master!
How can a master who cannot speak give orders?
Even though he cannot talk! Understanding our master's will is furniture's job!
Then it cannot be helped.
Seven Snakes shot at Gertrude at once. Gertrude had chosen to take all of those direct attacks, refusing to abandon the barrier until the last moment. Though she was resilient enough to be called a literal Iron Maiden and received no damage at all, it was more than enough to make her flinch and lose control of the barrier.
Good work, my furniture.
Beata shot through the scattered red fragments of the barrier, and she was finally right in front of the bride, her rival Erica. However, there stood the final shield protecting Erica. Death sentenced Delanor.
You are too late. Time is already up, Lady Beatrice.
Chester 17! Chester 17! Data link to all Chesters! Incoming data from Archangel Satellite! Homecoming front format! Verdict model! Conceptual guidance!
Chester 20, reactivate.
Chester 125, reactivation complete. Time's up, yeah. Shut up. No, not there! No!
Reach, good luck.
Eleanor!
Back off, Delanor A. Knox. This isn't your fault.
I have received a red truth denying you from Lady Brenkenstell. I'm afraid this will become your grave.
Gone.
I don't know what Brenkenstell has allowed her to say. However, I don't need to sit around and let that longsword tell me. I'll play with you all you want later. But for now, back off. There's no time. The Chesters have already finished reactivating. I'm only living on a bit of borrowed time.
You will be the one to retreat. You are the pitiful actor who's chosen the wrong time to make an appearance.
Dylan's red longsword cut a large arc of absolute denial, which headed straight for the crown of Beato's head. However, in that instant, there was a thunk and the curve missed slightly. Beato didn't let this good fortune go to waste. She slipped past the longsword, knocked Eleanor aside, and finally stood right in front of Erica. This time, not a single person stood in her way.
This is popcorn? Where did this come from?
Urgent request from the bride's bodyguard team. Let the GSS Imperial Guards fire the intruder immediately.
The commotion quieted. However, no one shot. Why? They could have shot if they'd wanted to. All the Chester troops had completely targeted her and removed their safeties. Of course, all of them had finished reactivating. However, they hesitated to pull the trigger.
Why aren't they shooting? Let the ceremony guards immediately.
Wait. Look at that.
Delano's expression grew grim. Then she quietly put her red longsword away, After all, Erica would have to make a decision. If she decided to ignore it, they could shoot to kill. However, if Erica picked that up, they must not do so. So they couldn't pull the triggers until Erica decided.
Why won't anyone shoot?
Look closely. See what Beato just threw at Erica.
Lambda Delta pointed, still chomping down popcorn. It was hard to see from the balcony. Beato had thrown something like a white handkerchief at Erica. It had fallen to Erica's feet. What was that white thing?
She really knows what she's doing, that girl. She knows what it means to be the main character.
How interesting.
The thing that had hit Erica in the face and fallen to the floor was a white glove that Beato had gotten from Ronave. Hitting him with a glove like that could only mean one thing. It was.
Ooh, Zapar, what's this? What does it mean?
This is a request for a duel. If she picks up the glove, it means she's accepted.
And if she doesn't, the chasers will shoot? Why would you pick it up?
She doesn't have to. However, we and the demon attendants would probably spread the word far and wide that she dishonorably ran away from a duel.
She would be known for eternity as a coward.
Who ran away from the duel of love.
Beatrice waited firmly and composedly. If Erica just kicked it away, then at that very instant, the chasers would probably fire all at once, turning her into a golden embroidery. So Erica didn't have to pick it up. However, she could not afford to be afraid of picking it up. After all, she was the true victor, who had defeated Battler's closed room trick and logic. If she was the victor, she should have nothing to fear. So, if she was afraid of doing it, it proved that she felt a tinge of doubt about her victory.
If I don't pick it up, I can kill you without getting these clothes dirty.
That would probably liven up your reception. However, you will pick it up.
Oh? And why is that?
I've brought a wonderful gift just perfect for you. You want to know what that is. Therefore, you'll pick it up.
Not interested. Goodbye.
You'll pick it up. I know that you want to hear about the closed room I've brought you, which, unlike that trivial guest room of Battler's, is simple, basic, and absolutely cannot be solved.
A closed room that absolutely cannot be solved?
I know you want to accept my challenge. After all, you are the detective.
Erica threw off her wedding dress as though it was a cape. Yes. Before she is a bride or a piece of a witch, she is one thing first and foremost.
I am the detective. I acknowledge you as my opponent. However, you qualify to participate in this game? Have you managed to fix the logic error?
If you pick up that glove, I will prove that I have fixed it in my fight against you.
Gutta! Oh.
That's just general cathedral noise. Everybody.
Alright.
The cathedral was filled with chatter. Erica had picked up the glove. A duel! A duel! The cathedral was wrapped in a bizarre excitement. Rabble, rabble, rabble. At Erica's nod, Delanor pushed the crowd away, leaving the pair alone. People were permitted to witness this duel. However, no one would be allowed to interfere in any way. Ugh.
It's okay, Batman-san. I've already found a way to save you.
How?
I'm going to save you now. Please hang in there just a little longer.
Peter's resolute expression returned, and she grinned boldly, looking down on Erica. There can be no doubt. That's the expression worn only by the Golden Witch, the presence of the Master of Closed Rooms. A shadow dashed through the stormy rose garden. It was incredibly light and swift. The raindrops never touched him. He made no splashes in the countless puddles. His feet left no tracks in the mud. The rushing figure was Ken. Then he ran up the stairs to the entrance of the mansion. Did not slow down in the slightest to open the door. He ran straight at it as though he was trying to break through, and leapt into it. Though the door was shut, even that couldn't stop Cannon. He slid through the door, fell into the entranceway, and slowly stood up. His body wasn't even wet. And, as he recalled those nostalgic days spent serving the Ashurmia family, which would never come again, he ran once more. He was heading for Battler's guest room. He ran past the servant room, through the entrance hall, and past the door to the parlor. And the doors to the kitchen and dining hall came into sight. All of it brings back fond memories. There was the honor and rigidity of serving Kinzo directly. However, that man wasn't rigid all the time.
That's me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
When the family was out of sight, he didn't have the preserve of the air of majesty. His face could turn unbelievably childish, and he would sometimes ask me to take part in strange pranks. The master let me shoot lots of guns, didn't he? That was pretty fun. Kraus-sama was actually surprisingly kind. He must have gotten the impression that the master bullied me a lot. Whenever I was the only one around, he would talk to me in a very familiar way, almost as though he was a classmate of mine. I sort of regret that I held back and never did anything but nod in return. Madam was a really strict person. Ever since some rumors went around saying that she was strict on female servants but soft towards male servants, I got the feeling she viewed me as an enemy. However, she was also a woman to be pitied. When I've seen her alone, I've noticed her shoulders sag with pain of many times. There were a lot of servants, weren't there? Some lasted a short while, others stayed a long time. Genji-sama was the one person I might have called my father. I am both grateful and resentful towards him for many things. They all mix together and cancel out, and I end up with a neutral emotion. In that case, Kumasawa-san could probably be called my mother. She helped me out many times. I've always wanted to repay her someday. And now I've lost my chance for all time. Shannon is my Nason. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to be me. Thanks for teaching me that the ocean is blue. Goda? I hate that guy. Still, when I complimented his stew, he would sometimes turn red and say there was enough for seconds. I didn't dislike that part of him. I wonder why such a strong memory popped up at that instant I ran past the dining hall. And then, my memories of Jessica. Con.
Oh, it's a boy servant. How old are you?
I think those were the first words she spoke to me. Come to think about it, she was probably interested in me ever since then. I really did have enough time to build up that love, when a beloved that wouldn't lose to George, Sama, and Shannon's. But since I could only see the Gray Sea, I wasted almost all of that time. What does she like about me? What do I like about her? I get the feeling we never really made that clear. No, she told me. We should have stayed together longer to eventually find that out. It would have been fine to find a reason for our love later. It took me far too long to realize that. Now, I think I can accept it. I know why Shannon won the duel. God must have been watching. You had so much courage, more courage than I did, and God didn't abandon you. I reached the hallway with the guest rooms. There was someone laying on the ground. It was Battler. He was lying just outside the guest room, a chain tied to his neck. He had probably struggled to do something with the chain lock from the outside until he lost consciousness. His fingernails on both hands had been torn off, and they were stained with blood. I could tell at a glance just how hard he had tried until the final moments when his heart had died. The collar binding him wouldn't disappear unless the chain lock was set. Battler-sama. It's alright. I'm going to save you now.
Battler responded faintly. Probably hadn't even imagined that help would come to this eternal closed room. He was so scared that this might be an auditory hallucination brought about by a fleeting delusion, that he couldn't bear to open his eyes slightly. Cannon grabbed Battler by the arms and dragged him into the room. The inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered, and the wind and rain had made its way inside. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Battler hadn't smashed them out of rage. The curtains had been removed, torn and twisted up into a bundle. Probably used trial and error to see if it could be used as a rope for some trick. Josh, you can do this, actually.
He had tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room, and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood, and the nippers lay there on the bottom. To protect this tale, he had nearly been prepared to accept Burncastle's brutal method of escape, cutting himself into pieces and washing himself down the drain. He was willing to tear apart his own body to protect the game that Beto had entrusted him with. He had probably questioned himself over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of the game world, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years has it been in this closed room of logic error? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he had rejected that until the very end. And, even in the last moments when his heart died, he had wanted so much to show his iron will to escape from this room, that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor, with the chain still around his neck. Battler-sama, it's canon. Please, come to your senses.
He wiped Battler's face with a towel wetted in the sink. In response to that cold sensation, Battler's heart slowly began beating again. It's you. Canon-kun.
Yes, it's me, Canon. You did well to endure until today.
Looks like I slept in. Just a little too much. Battler realized that the feel of the towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain was gone.
There is no longer anything binding you here. Come on. Please head back quickly.
But if I unset that chain lock, that chain will come back.
Don't worry. No longer does any chain exist to bind you, Battler-sama. I will remain here.
What did you say? By now, Battler knew the terrors of this endless closed room better than anyone else. So he was more filled with shock than happiness. Shock at the determination of the one who was willing to become the new prisoner.
I will be fine. There's no need to worry.
But...
Battler-sama, isn't there something you have to do?
I...
Go back, quickly. There is someone fighting in your place. And there is someone awaiting your return. Will you not go back?
His stern words and gaze shot straight through Battler. Are you sure?
Yes. That will be fine. This way, I can repay my debt back from back then.
Debt? Do you owe me something?
You're not the one I owe, Battler-sama. It's okay, so go. I don't like being indebted to others. Go quickly. You must not keep her waiting now. So, hurry.
Battler couldn't argue back anymore. He silently bowed his head and set the chain and opened the door. Canon remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Battler's neck. He could leave this closed room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he had heard at the far end of the corridor had been replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some sort of strange disturbance going on. As Canon went out into the corridor to see me off, the merciless collar and chain had already captured their new prisoner. He would remain inside this endless closed room, in Battler's place. Canon-kun, I feel the same.
About what?
I don't like keeping debts. I'll definitely repay you, and I'll do it soon.
I hope I can count on that. Go on, run. Run to the one you love. And please, never get lost again.
Battler didn't turn back again. He ran with everything he had. He ran into the corridor, whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran into the very end of the corridor, beyond the light. Canon, still connected to the chain, watched him go, then quietly returned to the guest room. Now he only had to worry about his own job. Stay in this room and fix the error in logic.
Now, I set the chain lock.
As soon as you said it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Then, if he hid in the one place Erica hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside, and dark. This tiny
space is the last place I'll see. As long as I remain hidden in here, the logic will be preserved. That's an easy job. Easier than caring for the roses.
Ken went in it, and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as he did, a single small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet, and vanished. It was a sign the logic had been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of pieces would never tick again. So, for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place.
That's okay. This way, I've paid back my debt. Beatrice. The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, I've paid back all my debts now. Now, all of my debts are... that music tape Jessica lent me. I never gave it back, did I? That's okay, isn't it, Jessica? I liked that one. Can I accept that as a present? You want me to dub over it and hand it back?
Slowly, Cannon's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And, after the inside of the cramped, dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium, it faded away like the light of fireflies, and was painted over by a pitch blackness, for all eternity. In the cathedral, the goat attendants were all jostling around either side of the red carpet. On the red carpet, standing across from each other, were Beato and Erica. In their hands were the pistols given to them by Zepar and Furfur.
Flintlocks, are they? How old-fashioned.
Pay it no mind. Demons are very particular about style.
Its form was similar to an actual old-fashioned gun, but this, of course, was a demon's gun. This wasn't a gun that would propel a lead bullet with an explosion caused by gunpowder, like the pistols used in a duel between Shannon and Cannon, whose bullets had contained a magic that would always kill. These pistols also had bullets that were not made of lead.
Beato.
There's no need to worry. She'll win easily. You have to deal with her insults again, Leah.
When this match is over, we should ask to be paid every now and then. After the fight ends, perhaps the occasional trip down to the Caribbean would be satisfactory.
Enough talk about when the fight is over. That's an ill omen before a duel.
Beato, take this seriously. This is no time to be standing around laughing.
Why is Reach relaxed and Leah tense?
Come on!
Beatrice-sama,
Beatrice-sama,
you can do it!
do it!
Beatrice, something can do it.
Beatrice-sama is at a disadvantage in this duel.
Why?
Normally, witches are able to use strength in numbers to achieve victory. However, since the game has been suspended, she has nothing on her side except the riddle of Battler-sama's guest room.
Erica can just strike a blue wedge through that one riddle. It'll mean she's solved everything.
They can win. I believe in Beatrice-sama and Battler-sama, our two masters.
Did you call me?
Thanks.
For once, it feels as though our chances of winning are 50-50. So I'd like to thank you beforehand.
It is simply my job. There is no need to thank me.
In the last game, you protected me after I lost pathetically. I was happy. That was the first time in my life that anyone has ever protected me. Even my master has never done so. All she's given me is a way to cancel out my pain by exposing the truth of others. So that everyone ends up hurting each other.
Please forgive my arrogance. I felt that I needed to protect you. When I realized what a frail truth you live by. When I saw you being tormented by the tyranny of a mixture of truth and lies that seem more plausible. I wanted to protect you.
Thank you. It wasn't for long, but you were a wonderful partner.
And will remain so.
You're right. Once we've defeated her, let's make tons of mysteries on the island together. I'll have you solve them and tease you as we play. How does that sound?
I like it. I look forward to your challenge.
Ah, sorry, that's a lie. I take it back. That'd be one of those loser flags, wouldn't it?
Now.
Now,
Let's go! Let's go!
Go!
are you ready, duelist?
Duelist?
When the two demons clapped their hands, the duelists instantly returned to their bold, tense smiles.
The bullets between those magic guns are not lead.
They are bullets of red and blue truth for the battle between mystery and fantasy.
As long as you possess truth, your bullets are endless.
However, being hit by a single one means instant death.
Are you both?
Prepared?
Certainly.
Of course.
Lady Lambda Delta. Oh.
Go!
Shut up!
Go.
Okay. Lady Lambda Delta, oh great and powerful witch of certainty.
And members of the glorious Senate,
Neither of these two are sons.
please come forward.
Will you swear to oversee this duel?
Of course. I swear it.
The crowd split and Lambda walked forward with Burncastle by her side, fell between the faces of the two duelists. Then she took out an envelope with the seal of the one-winged eagle and lifted it high.
Beatrice has sent me her revisions to the tale inside an envelope. After inspecting it, I find its contents to be valid. I proclaim that the logic error has been avoided. The chain lock is still set. And without any contradictions with any of the red truth made up to this point. Chatter,
Many good attendants knew the details of Battler's closed room. They realized how difficult it was. And though fiery debates had swept across the crowd during the reception, none had been able to find an answer. And now, it was clear that Beatrice had already reached one.
Therefore, this duel is legitimate. It'll center around one single point. The closed room of Battler's guest room. Battler disappeared from within a closed room sealed by a chain lock. Therefore, Erica's been armed with the blue truth. Beatrice has been armed with the red truth to counter back. The duel will continue until one side is victorious.
Splendid.
Perfect.
Okay. Well then, Beato. Present your new revised tale and riddle to Erica.
Cannon used magic to escape from the cousin room without breaking the seals. He reached the guest room and used magic to let Battler escape from that closed room. What a foolish tale.
Very well. Erica, is there anything you wish to confirm?
Repeat it. The one who rescued Battler was, without a doubt, Cannon.
Very well. The one who rescued Battler was, without a doubt, Cannon.
Repeat it! Battler and Cannon are different people!
I'll say it. Battler and Cannon are different people.
That's enough.
Erica, are you done confirming things?
That was all I needed. I already decided how to fight.
Okay. Let both sides load their bullets.
Erica turned around and pressed her finger against the barrel of the pistol, made her blue truth into a bullet, and pushed it in. There was no rule saying that she had to turn away, but she didn't want her expression to be red. Or it might have been because she couldn't stand the tension of looking at Beato's bold smile. Beato already finished loading her red truth, waiting for Erica to finish while calmly puffing on her pipe. Then she looked at Battler, who sat on the throne of the Territory Lord, known as the two witches who were here as witnesses. Hold on a second. Seems fine. Battler's conscience was still hazy. However, he apparently understood that Beato had come to a duel for his sake, so that he could be saved. It was all he could do just to look at Beato with those sluggish eyes. But a flood of emotion passed between them. There was no need for words. A look was enough for them now. Erica closed her eyes tightly, her fingers still up against the barrel. At that moment, her stunning powers of concentration made all the distractions of the outside world disappear. Good. It's always been like this. My concentration really is good. Are you ready? Me? Thurido? Erica? First, let's lay out the situation. Battler disappeared from the closed room. The chain lock is set. Did he disappear by magic? Of course not! There has to be a trick! Cannon didn't save him with magic. He just came, took Battler's place, and set the chain. Everyone knows that much! The problem is the next step. No, it's actually the step before that one. Cannon's was in the cousin's room in the guest house. It was completely sealed with packing tape. It's been proven that the seal was intact until the time of the logic error. In other words, Cannon's grip in the closed room that was absolute, with no chance for excuses or twisted logic. This is why she called it a simple, yet ultimate closed room. How do you escape from the perfect closed room known as the cousin room? If I get so stuck thinking about that question, I'd be no better than your average kid detective. There was a perfect closed room, so there was no way to escape. In other words, trying to think of ways to escape from there is a waste of time. The real question is how Can was somewhere outside the cousin room when it was sealed. The cousin room was a completely sealed Can. If he wasn't there when it was sealed, then it's already game over. In other words, the time when the cousin room was sealed, he wasn't inside it anymore. Look at the time I checked everyone's locations and sealed the rooms. That's the most suspicious part. At that time, we have the 5 people in the next room over,
whom I confirmed with my own eyes. Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nanjo. I mentioned the names of those 5 people during the location check, when they were in the next room over. I checked to see whether everyone else was in the cousin room, and that they had to confirm for me as well. I said everyone else, so whether he was Canon or Yoshia, or even Puru Pico Man. They all should have been sealed in the cousin room. It seems perfect at a glance. However, though the phrase, everyone else seems perfect, it's fishy. Strictly speaking, everyone else refers to all humans whose names I did not mention directly. In other words, there are exceptions. For example, it's been confirmed that Hideyoshi and George were in the next room over. Humans with the name Hideyoshi or George don't need to be inside the cousin's room. It seemed that Canon told Jessica that his real name was Yoshia, but that was no red truth. In other words, what if Canon's real name is the same as one of those in the next room over? They're the same age. Let's use George. So if there were 2 Georges in that room, doesn't violate the red truth saying that. If Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shin, and Nanjo were in the next room over, I feel like Canon's real name was Tanaka George. Both Yoshimiya George and Tanaka George could exist in that room at the same time. In other words, there were 6 humans with 5 names. It looked to my eyes as though there were only 5 people in the next room over, but a 6th person, Canon, was hiding somewhere. I know the detective's authority, so it wouldn't be that difficult for him to fool my eyes and hide. I see. The double name trick. Stupid. So stupid! Alright, I've made my logic. Canon, who was hiding in the next room over, not the cousin's room, left by the window if the seals were placed. Bang. The gun had fired, and the tip of my finger was stained with blood. Bluetooth gunpowder exploded. Oh wait, that's actually, is that me? Hold on.
It is you.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Blue.
I thought that fucking... Oh yeah, that's right, her thing is blue, that's right, shit. Damn it! I've already had Delenar seal that one a short while ago. Bluetooth was arguing about the window of the next room over is forbidden, so I can't use it!
Oh, an accidental discharge. Careful now. Guns can be dangerous.
Shut up! Just a little mistake.
The window of the next room over. You sealed it with some absurd trick, right? Gap told me.
Is that so? And so what?
Delenar, remove that foolish seal. That seal has become your shackles.
Beato had figured out everything. I've been thinking. She's acting so confident, telling you to go ahead and use that argument.
Lady Erica.
Please remove it. Fool. I'll make her regret this!
It seems you are
ready.
Just go!
It seems you're ready, duelists.
Please face each other with your pistols.
Say it all with confidence.
Then fire!
With the sparks of truth.
After facing away and readying herself one last time, Erica spun around. Beato had been facing her since the beginning. He wore a confident, challenging smile, as if she'd been kept waiting. And without any signal, the two slowly raised their guns, pointing the red and blue glints that hid within their barrels at each other.
Come, I could do with a little fun.
Begin.
First is how Cannon escaped from the cousin's room. I'll use that as my bullet.
Oh, so we'll start from there. Let's have it. Hold nothing back.
Here I go! After holding the gun high and pointing it at Beato once more, Erica pulled the trigger with statements of red and blue truth. The cousin room is guaranteed to be a perfect closed room until the end. So if Cannon really was in the room, it would be impossible for him to escape. In other words, Cannon was in that room at the time it was sealed. The name Cannon is an alias. His real name is still unknown. If his real name happened to be the same as anyone else in the next room over, that wouldn't contradict the check on who is in the room. In other words, it's possible for him to be in the next room over, not the cousin's room. The guard attendants chattered and clapped their hands, thinking,
"Yes, such a move would work."
I love watching this. I love being surrounded by the chatter. After all, I am the detective. It is true that the next room over was sealed. By the time of the logic error, only the doors were checked to see whether the seals were preserved. Therefore, there's a chance that the window seals were broken. Cannon was in the next room over, and escaped through that window. That is all. Any other theory would be impossible. If this doesn't work, there's no truth left.
As soon as she said, "That is all," both of them fired at the same time. After the blast rang out, it was Erica's gun that fell to the floor. Beato's red bullet had knocked Erica's gun from her hands. Was it arrogance or confidence? If she had just aimed that bullet at Erica's heart, this whole thing would have been over. Beato had missed on purpose. There was a bold smile on her face. It was as though she was offering to play with Erica a little longer. No, that's exactly what made her Beata. Beatrice, the witch who mocked others with unsolvable closed room tricks.
At the time the next room over was sealed, Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nonjo were in it. And the number of people in the next room over was 5. No one existed there except for those to whom those 5 names refer. All people can go only by their own names.
It was a thoroughly merciless red truth. It was simple and severe. Now that the number of people had been limited to 5, any leeway for Cannon hiding there had been completely denied. Also, it was now clear that only people hiding those 5 names, only people holding those 5 names existed within that room. Erica couldn't even make a new theory by suggesting that one person held 2 names. The 5 names referred to only 4 people, which would let an unnamed Cannon sneak in. Furthermore, the part about how people could only use their own names was a fatal blow that cut down countless theories.
Come to think of it, you've only ever met the half-sleeping me from the previous game, haven't you? What do you think, Erica? How do you like the game of the Golden Witch?
That's insane! Are you saying that Cannon slipped out of the room by magic? More importantly, why did you just knock my gun away?
The human side must crush all of the witch's riddles, whereas the witch side need only crush the human's theories once. Don't you find that unfair? So I decided to have it be even.
Even?
I've decided that I'll make my victory condition the destruction of all of your theories. I won the riddle of Cannon's escape, but there's one more. Let's return to the first battleground, where you gave battlers so much trouble.
When Beata snapped her fingers, the guest room of Battler was reconstructed. She had to fight once more in the room that had threatened Battler with a logic error, determined to set things once and for all.
Erica, pick up your gun. We'll have this room be your coffin.
I say the same to you! I'll make you regret ever giving me this chance!
Witness. Allow Erica to use X.
X? You mean a basis that doesn't need to be explained? What are you gonna let her do?
let's give Erica permission to use Bluetooth for Cannon and his guest room trick. Without making her explain how he escaped from his closed room.
A theory explaining how Cannon saved Battler. Also need to explain how Cannon escaped from his own closed room, or would have no basis. Erica had already lost that basis. Vita was giving her a handicap by saying that she didn't need to explain that part.
Of course! You've already used the red truth to guarantee that Cannon saved Battler. It's only natural that I be given this privilege.
Erica faced that way again and concentrated even harder. As though twisting the knob on a radio, she turned all noise and idle thoughts down to 0.
Let's go, Furuto Erica! Detective Furuto Erica! As long as Cannon reaches this place, rescuing Battler isn't hard. The trick is as follows. Cannon used some kind of escape trick X to reach the front of the guest room. While I was busy in the bathroom, Battler left the closet. Battler did the chain lock. Battler went outside. Cannon entered in his place. Canceled the chain lock. Cannon went into the closet. The end! This satisfied the 2 red truths about the chain lock being set as Battler's absence. And then in exchange for the escape trick, Cannon remembered the inside of the guest room remains inside the guest room. There's no room for any argument on how tightly this room can act as a closed room. That chain is cursed. In this demonic closed room, one person must remain as a sacrifice for it to be acceptable. However, is such a simple theory really enough? The rescuer switched places with him. And the rescuer hid in the closet. No other sort of theory is possible. And yet, Vito thinks she can win. In that case, does some other trick exist? It's impossible! That's why in the history of the mystery genre, that there's absolutely, definitely, categorically no other way! If I give in here, I couldn't call myself a detective! Consider it. Imagine. Don't stop thinking. That's how you drive blue wedges into witches! What if I can explain it, what I can expect to see is... Yes. A wordplay trick! It can only be some kind of wordplay. That just barely slips through the net of words spoken and read. In that case, I'll crush all possibilities! Let them repeat line after line! Final duel has already begun, even though we haven't pulled our triggers yet! Repeat it! At the time Battler was rescued, only Cannon entered the guest room.
I acknowledge it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Cannon entered the guest room. I believe that was the whole point.
Repeat! From the time I entered the room to the time of the logic error, Battler, Cannon, and I were the only ones who exited the room.
I acknowledge it. From the time you went to the room to the time of the logic error, you, Battler, and Cannon were the only ones who went in or out of the guest room.
Repeat it! This refers to 3 people!
I acknowledge it. It refers to 3 people. You, Battler, and Cannon.
Confirming definition. And that when you say 3 people, that it's equal to the number of bodies? And the 3 bodies went in and or out of the guest room, right? I've had other things being mixed about with names and numbers of people. I want this point to be clear!
Of course. 3 people, in other words, 3 bodies, went in or out. Only you and Cannon entered, and only Battler left. It has already been said that in red that all people can only be using their own names. Therefore, the names Erica, Battler, and Cannon can only be used by 3 people.
Repeat it. I am not the rescuer.
Of course. You are the detective, are you not? Don't worry, I will respect that.
Confirming definition. How do you define rescuer? This is also important. I want to clearly remove the possibility that I rescued him accidentally.
I'll define rescuer to mean any person who reset chain lock after Battler unset it. This definition applies whether said person intended to rescue Battler or not.
Since she said after Battler unset the chain lock, it's possible for this to have occurred before I set foot in the room. From that point on, I wouldn't undo the chain again for all eternity. After all, the game was suspended at that point. Therefore, it was impossible for me to have been the rescuer accidentally. More. I can focus it even more. The chain can only be set from the inside. It's possible for a person to escape on their own. Therefore, we know that Battler didn't escape by himself. I'm not the rescuer. Only Canon can be the rescuer. And Beato's already said that Canon is the rescuer with the red truth. There's nothing to doubt. No for anyone but Canon to be involved. At least so far. Repeat it. Going in or out refers to when someone crosses the boundary between the guest room and the area outside it.
I acknowledge it.
Repeat it. By the guest room, we're referring to the entirety of the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet.
I acknowledge it. I've no intention of wriggling out of this by saying the closet isn't part of the guest room.
Confirming definition. Inside the guest room is divided into 3 sections: the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet.
I also recognize it as such. Furthermore, you've already confirmed with the red truth that 2 of those sections, the bedroom and the bathroom, had no one hiding in them.
Repeat it! There is someone in the closet.
I refuse.
Why is that? Because Canon is hiding in there?
Canon can use magic. It's true that he hid himself in the closet for a time, but he then immediately vanished with his magic. So there is no one in the closet. I cannot respond. Canon came out of the closet!
I ask you to repeat it once more!
Fool. The witch side has no obligation to explain how they did things with magic.
No, it's completely obvious. There's no way that you can say that Canon disappeared with magic using the red truth. After all, magic doesn't exist. But is this enough? I've gone through every last minor detail, yet there's an uncanny lack of dubious points. Can't think of any way around the theory I've had since the beginning. Canon must be in the closet. He has to be. There's no way he isn't! I'll say it again. This closure can only be escaped from by switching places with a rescuer. Can't try to escape as well, another rescuer would be needed. However, no rescuer exists for Canon. Battler escaped, so it's impossible for it to be him. And I won't undo the chain for all eternity. People who have gone in and out of the room have been confirmed both by name and number of people. At this rate, my theory is set in stone. First, here are the details of the situation that are certain. The game ended was that when I was inside the guest room. So I did not undo the chain lock that I had previously set. So it can't be that he escaped after I left the room. Furthermore, that chain lock was set at the same time I entered the room. No one could have left the room during the few seconds between the time I entered and the time I set the chain lock. The guest room was sealed at the time Battler's corpse was examined. Until I came again and broke the seals, it's absolutely impossible for anyone to go in or out. Therefore, when I entered the guest room, it was certain that Battler was hiding somewhere inside the guest room. The only chance Battler had to escape was after I broke the seals. To be even more specific, he had no chance to escape except for the time I was in the bathroom. By the above premises, Battler's trick to escape with the chain is still set is as follows. Because of the aforementioned reasons, the only one who could have set the chain lock, which could only be set from the inside and allowed Battler to escape, is Canon, the only person into the room except for me and Battler. If Canon entered the room, he set the chain. Hidden the one place that he could hide inside the guest room, the closet. Whoa, that was close. They almost got me. They almost tricked me. I thought I'd corner him in the closet. It's the opposite. Shouldn't I even think he's in the closet? What was the order in which I searched the guest room? First, the bedroom. We confirmed with the red truth that there was nothing there. Then the bathroom. We confirmed with the red that there was nothing there. That's it, right there! When I examined the bedroom, there was nothing there. However, when I was investigating the bathroom, Cannon stepped out of the closet and hid again somewhere in the bedroom. In other words, my guarantee that no one was in the bedroom was torn apart during a span of 1 minute. I've spotted it! This is the witch's trap. To lure me into thinking that Cannon is in the closet! The place he's really hiding is in the bedroom! I found it! I finally found your trick! That was a close one. If I'd been one step slower, I'd have said there was nowhere to hide except inside the closet. Then she'd just say that the closet was empty. Huh? No. Wait. It works the same way in reverse. I see. Now I get it. It's a logic switching trick. Damn that Beato. So I'm resolving the logic error she discovered. So in resolving the logic error, she discovered this strange trick. If I only notice this closet, she'll have Cannon hide under the bed. And if I only notice the bed, she'll have Cannon hide in the closet. Even though either one would be right, I lose no matter what which I choose. So I suppose both at the same time, I can't checkmate her. Incredible. I never heard of such an unfair trick. If it was sleight of hand, it'd be just be a cheap one. If it was a mystery, it'd just be cheating. However, in the witch's game, it's a legitimate logic trick. In chess, it'd be called a double check. No, a discovered attack. Or would it be a discovered double checkmate? This sort of logic would be a foul trick in the mystery genre. In this world where witches in mystery war, it is such a refined board layout. The beautiful placement of these black pieces that cornered my white king felt almost like an art. So beautiful that if I were a god in some old legend, I maybe should stick it in the sky as a constellation. That beauty even brought tears to my eyes. For the first time, I felt honored at being allowed to participate in this game of truth and witches as a human. And ironically, it taught me that the one who had always believed in a single truth, there isn't necessarily just one truth. If I just broaden my perspective, I can see completely different truths. And though each of these truths are truth, they're incomplete if they're all you can see. In my life until now, just how many truths have I missed? Because I was blinded by some trivial truth. This is the true nature of the world. Because of our arrogance in thinking that only one truth exists, if we find one truth, we get blinded to all others. Thank you, Beatrice-san. I never thought that I would learn the true nature of this world from a witch.
Slowly, with a soft and quiet gesture, like a flower opening with the morning dew dripping down its side, Erica raised her gun.
It's my victory. I've seen through your double check.
Then come.
Battler's guest room disappearance trick is as follows. While I searched the room, Battler was hiding in the closet. Then during the disturbance in the bathroom, he unset the chain and escaped from the room. That time, Ken was waiting for him in the hallway. Ken entered the guest room in his place and set the chain. This is the trick to Battler's disappearance. And afterwards, he hid in the bedroom. Sam after checked to see that there was no one unexpected in the bedroom, so it's valid. In this way, Ken and the rescuer concealed himself in the bedroom.
Erica's blue bullet flew in a strange arc, became a wedge of the blue truth, and pierced straight down through the bed and through the floor beneath. Beato didn't pull her trigger, but she did quietly argue back with the red truth.
Cannon does not exist in the bedroom.
The goat attendants gasped! Erica had apparently been defeated, denied by the red truth. For the goats who couldn't see more than a single truth,
Probably looks as though I've lost. Next up is the real one. This is the answer from a human capable of understanding multiple truths. Looks like the tale of illusions will end with it on the second twilight. So why not carry out the remaining twilights and open the door to the golden land? If you are to disappear, then you should be surrounded by your golden roses.
the fire of blue truth flashed at Erica's feet, and she loaded a blue truth bullet once more. That overflowing blue power was now making her entire gun burn with a blue flame. She wasn't aiming for Beato. She was aiming behind Beato. At the closet!
Now that the bedroom has been denied, you've nowhere left to run! Die! Cannon!
The 5 wedges of blue truth she released shot right past Beato's cheeks, hair, and shoulders, then pin-cushioned the door to the closet to gouge whatever human was inside to death. The 5 wedges slammed into the door in a vertical line. In other words, in the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, on the 7th twilight, on the 8th twilight, gouge and kill, and kill, and kill! After being gouged by so many thick and sharp wedges, the human inside wouldn't stand a chance.
Here's the truth I've exposed. That is all.
And she proclaimed that she had finished. The 5 blue wedges piercing the closet disappeared. However, the many large, splintered holes left behind showed that it had indeed been pierced. Then, as though this completed the ceremony that led to the Golden Land, there had been created around them, became countless golden flower petals, and drifted away. But now the duelists and the crowd of attendants were surrounded by the golden rose garden of the Golden Land. However, the closet behind Beato remained. It stood there, all by itself, like a coffin. Then, as though teased open by a dreary wind, the whole covered closet door slowly opened. Inside was a human figure. That figure was covered up to the head by what appeared to be a grayish robe. Of course, that also had large holes showing that it had been stabbed into. Eventually, it became clear that this was not a robe, but a raincoat. If he had rushed here from the guest house, there'd be nothing strange about him wearing this into the guest room. Then, with a rustle, the raincoat lost its human shape, crumpled, became a cloud of gold butterflies, and disappeared.
What the?
Inside the coffin of the closet, nothing remained except an empty darkness.
Cannon does not exist in the guest room. Of course, this includes all parts of the closet, the bedroom, and the bathroom. Cannon let Battler escape and hid in the closet. Then he used magic to disappear. This is the witch's truth. That is all.
This fight is decided. Say no more. And the winner is...
Beatrice!
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Let's fucking go!
The attendants let out a cheer and pogged. Virgilia's group couldn't help but scream and shout in joy. The seven sisters jumped about in celebration.
Dunked on.
Then at the same moment, the two demons proclaimed Beatrice's victory. The heads ring worn by Erica, who was slowly crumpling to the ground, and the curse ring on Battler's finger both burst. At the same time, Battler coughed violently. Battler was starting to regain consciousness.
Battler! Battler's son!
Beal lashed onto the coughing Battler in joy. Then Virgilia, Gap, and Ronove did the same. All the seven sisters also crowded about him in delight. What a nasty trick. Are you sure something like this will count? The trick like this one, those humans will start complaining again about how this is no mystery.
No, it was a splendid trick. People without love cannot see it. Battler's son. Battler's son.
Lady Erica! Lady Erica! Someone, help her quickly.
The rose of blood in Erica's chest wouldn't stop opening its petals. Noir?
Third-degree conceptual denial syndrome. Use of continuous neutralizer impossible. Neutralization only possible by an emergency approval for resurrection. The piece's master must provide approval for resurrection.
Lady Birkenstell, give your approval for her resurrection. Lady Birkenstell? Where did she go?
Search request to ceremony guards. Find Lady Berncastle. Understood. Alchester's data link. Search format.
How cowardly! To think the Sound's master wouldn't watch her pieces do until the end. Now it is far too cowardly!
Erica, who was being held by Delanor, had realized that her master was nowhere to be seen. But she didn't feel lonely. On the contrary, she was relieved that she wouldn't need to be brutally scolded in the last moments of her life.
Gods and demons.
Please pass on the story of her noble passing.
Noble? The bad guys was to die pathetically and make the main character look awesome. I'm not anyone's piece anymore. I can finally control my own role!
Lady Erica. You mustn't move.
Stand back! Stay back!
When Erica yelled with all her soul, those who surrounded her were forced to back and fell on their butts.
I am the Witch of Truth, Perudo Erica! The Witch of Truth is the witch who can withstand the truth. Now, I can finally know the real truth about myself.
The toxin of her own contempt being denied raced through her. Her vision was already starting to blur. At the end of her twisted range of vision were Battler and Beato hugging each other and looking at her. Their expressions are firm.
That's okay. Being sympathy only make me look more pathetic. For a loser, that sort of expression is the best.
Lady Erica, the duel is already over.
It isn't.
Not until the pair is separated by death.
We won't let anyone.
Disgrace her final moments.
The two demons grabbed Delanor's shoulders and held her back. Dripping blood. Breathing heavily with an awkward gait, Erica walked towards Beato and Battler despite it all. As the blood dripped from her, it became golden flower petals, which drifted away. So as she walked, she looked both divine and beautiful. the duel wouldn't end until one of them died. So even though it had been settled, it hadn't ended. Beto and Ballard told the people bunched around them to step back, and they both walked forward to face the noble loser. Erica.
Congratulations on your resurrection. Looks like you have bad luck with women. You'll never get a decent one to like you.
True. Never fall in love with a decent woman.
Beto? No. Ask this of both of you.
You wish for one final clash?
Erica.
Very well. We are not so boorish as to refuse your noble quest.
Thank you.
As her conscience began to waver, Erica raised her gun again. She pointed at the two of them. Beto also raised her gun to point at Erica. Then Battler placed his hand on hers.
If it's already resolved, what more could there be to argue about?
Erika-sama.
Why? Is there nothing I can do at a time like this?
Watch until the end. That's your job as her friend, isn't it?
Both sides silently loaded their bullets of truth without saying a word. The color packed in each barrel was red. So though neither side spoke, did they both know what trump card the other would use?
Now, at the end, I'd like to finally introduce myself.
What's she saying? It's late into the game. No one could imagine the red truth Erica had loaded. Beto, are you sure?
Yes. I don't mind.
I understand.
Let's at least pull the final trigger together.
I know. Battler placed his hand on top of the finger that Beto had around the trigger.
Battler-san, I'm glad I met you.
We will be together for all eternity.
You just had to flirt right in front of me. It's pissing me off. You know, I really can't stand teary farewell scenes. Yes, the bad guy really does need to wear this face at the very end.
That's a nice look. Married life with you would probably have been fun enough to make me vomit.
Of course! I'd spin you around every day, locked up in a world of pleasure that'd make you forget Beato-san in a second.
It's 1,000 years too early for you to capture Battler's heart, little girl.
You never look cuter than you do now. I guess both of us really do need to finish it this way.
Come.
This is Detective Furuta Erica's final parting line. And self-introduction!
Erica spun in a magnificent and graceful rondo, scattering blood and... Oh, fuck.
Hi, pleased to meet you. I am Furuta Erica, the detective. Maybe an uninvited guest, but please, welcome me. I'm the visitor, the 18th human on Rokenjima.
Sorry, but...
Even if you do join us...
That makes 17 humans! There we go. I did not know that was an auto-scroller. Fuck me.
It's fine. I didn't actually notice.
Okay, it's vibe time.
We actually said the line in unison! Oh my god!
Barely.
Bump up the stream volume.
Alright, yeah, fine. I'm probably gonna get copyrighted for this, though.
Shut the fuck up! Judging mine.
Shut up.
Oh.
So,
alright.
That's
I
the
think
most
that-
energy I have exerted in fucking years.
I think I finally figured out why. I think I finally figured out why Umineko doesn't hit me as hard as Higurashi, and I think it's specifically because there's so much focusing you have to do throughout a lot of this to really absorb the meat, but these climaxes still hit really hard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's my favorite ending of an episode.
Yes.
Oh shit, my phone's at 9%. One moment.
Okay, so question: there's the 2 tea parties. They're an hour long.
No.
Okay, we'll save those for later then.
They're like 40
here's-
minutes
so
long. They're like 40 minutes.
here's an idea.
late.
So here's an idea, a theory. Y'all can shoot it down. But instead of doing like a full like big stream on what's today? Fridays? On Sunday. We could do relax game. We could do we could do like the finish up the tea parties and then it be magnum opus, like just talk about what y'all like final answers, magnum opus theories.
I was
And then-
actually thinking that as well.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's
what are we
probably
doing?
best. Basically, so for Sunday, we're going to finish up the 2 tea parties, and then we're going to have, like we mentioned before, everybody's big quote unquote balls to the walls, dick swinging, just playing it all out their theories, because this is probably going to be the last best time for you to do it.
Yeah.
Basically, like
Balls
get
up
your theories
Sunday.
out, answer the quizzes. That is your deadline.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you'll be graded on. If you don't have any answers by then, you get an F.
Yep.
Tell us what the fuck is going on.
I can probably offer not a full theory, but at least a good chunk of overall broadness.
Mm-hmm.
I have ideas.
Yeah.
I would like to get at least an A for effort when we get there.
Dude, speaking as a teacher, there's no such fucking thing as an A for effort.
Hey, what about for disabled people like me? C.
You
get
have
a
to go ahead
C.
and submit the paperwork prior with a full doctor's note and commission.
You'll get a C for effort. How about that?
Bone, I'll give you an A.
Alright, Zaz is now my favorite hero.
Zaz isn't a teacher!
I don't care.
I'll give. Actually, you know what, Bone? I'll give you. I'll give. Wait. I'll give Bone an A. A
Alright.
ride to suck on these
hold on.
nuts.
You're a terrible.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
hold on. Okay, everybody. Obviously, there are certain handicaps that don't allow certain people to be, I guess, fully cognizant of what's going on. So I will reward you for your efforts at the bare minimum, Bone, and that's about it.
Alright, I will at least get half of a blue ribbon.
Mm-hmm. You
You'll get a-
you get the
you'll get a-
participation trophy.
Yeah.
You get a silver star that said you read Umineko.
Mm-hmm.
You stuck with it.
That being said,
And I did at least tried those quizzes.
You did.
Mhm.
Those quizzes will also like
be extra credit to your final theory. So if you got some things right in there, it might change your grade.
Where's the quizzes again?
In my quiz corner.
They're in the quiz corner.
It's literally called
to go to the magical quiz corner.
It's literally called a
They've
B
been
corner.
rolled
Do the
up.
quiz.
To be fair, I have not done any of them.
Yeah, this
You
series
see,
is
now you
great,
gotta do 'em.
Miranda. Just yeah,
Now-
it's
now
like,
it's the
this series is so good.
Meaty.
A thing I'm missing out, like not doing it at my own pace, but at the same time, this is fun. I do like doing the voice acting thing.
It's been fun. It's been real.
It's so good to voice Beato again.
For a good while,
back
I thought Beato was a huge,
As opposed to when
horrible-
you were playing Beato.
But then I saw like Lambda be a huge shit. I saw Burn
What?
being a huge shit.
What did
I'm
Lambda
not
do?
wrong. I saw Erica being a huge shit. You know what? I'm glad to have the golden hair bitch back.
Wow, and all it took you was a piece of
And
rock.
she's also friendly now. She's on our side.
Lambda's been super friendly from day one.
Yeah,
I mean, not
she's.
from day one.
Operates with her own measures, man.
I might replay it more
Okay, she
now
was
on my
like
own
decent
time
on day
after we're done.
one, but day two she turned Angie into scrap.
I mean, day one, she was like, Beatrice,
Mind
I
broken.
sponsor you. You better not burn me, or else you're gonna fucking die.
Oh yeah, we still don't know the deal with that.
She was like that on day 2. on day 1, she was like, "I'm super paper."
I'm incredibly stupid. My name is Lambda Delta. Nice to meet you.
She is very pop and cute, and I want to dunk her.
And it's not like I like helping you or anything, Baka.
Yeah, that was on day 3. Day 3 was like, maybe I'm not so fucking awful.
You know, all things considered, this is probably a good reason why you're doing the edits, Joshy, because we could probably reshoot those timed scenes. So that way it works a bit better.
What's even the point without at least a little jank?
Anyone who wants to sync up with me, send me your lines and I will record
Okay,
myself
now-
syncing up.
alright, now, so here's the thing.
Right? Honestly, me just fucking Randy just takes every fucking line. From
That
now.
one's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass to do. Movie magic will probably save the timing scenes.
Wait, he's gonna have to like put the music and mute the game and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That seems like way too much effort. Just
Oh, shit,
deal
I
with
didn't realize I'd have to do that shit.
Well,
Yeah, that's actually a lot of work.
That's too
Yeah,
much.
that's actually
You don't
quite a
have
bit of
to.
effort.
If it syncs up and it's not too complicated, then since you
Like-
can do it, but it's don't like look at it as like something you have to do.
Yeah,
Now,
no,
if that
there's
went
potential.
beyond 2 minutes of work, then don't do it. For those specifically.
Yeah.
Just an idea to bring up. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Jeez.
Thank you to Ren173 for subscribing with Prime.
Shut your goofy ass up, AC. We know that.
I'm reading a
Thank you,
Wow.
Ren, whatever,
Who
for
is
being born.
Ren173 in the chat?
Con, which one of us do
thank
you
you.
think that is? I want to see if you can tell.
AC?
Yes.
Alright, cool.
What makes you
Can't
say
believe it
that?
was AC the whole time.
At
What makes
any
you say
rate,
that?
Yes.
That's just shameless, dude.
Yes, it is, but look at his
any
channel.
rate.
Look at what he
at
does.
any rate.
Do you think this man has shame?
Hey, all
No,
right.
not at this point in his life.
If anybody talks over me again, mute them. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and cap off the stream here. That was very, very exciting. Everybody did great. Oscar-worthy performances all around, especially to my boy Yoshia.
You did very good.
Oh yeah, man, Josh,
Mhm.
you fucking killed it, dude.
Orange, can we get a quick shout out real quick?
Sure.
Quick shout out to Beatrice and Erica.
So true.
No. I don't know about
hope
that
you guys
second
are-
one.
Shout out to Beatrice and
She
Erica.
went out like a boss. That was great. I love that
Mhm.
so much.
Especially the fucking visualization for like fucking twirling around and saying that.
Yeah, it's so
Aw,
good.
so good. Went on like a fucking queen. Alrighty then. Good night, everybody. That'll do
Shout
it for
out
this
to
stream.
Christina Applegate.
Shout out to Erica Applegate. Bye.